So, hi folks. How you
IDT
doing?
507.
Hey, here we are, another semester.
New semester,
That's
new
crazy
course.
starting
I'm
already.
Steve Schneider,
I'm Ryan Lazardi.
and we are your instructors.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
regardless of
podcasts.
which section you're in, we are your instructors for IDT 507, and we're going to do these podcasts at various points in the semester. And we figured we'd do one to intro some things
Yeah.
like textbooks.
15 minutes.
Yeah, just a quick one.
Quick. Okay. So, you should be seeing Blackboard now or momentarily.
Yes.
And this is the Blackboard page. Says IDT 507.
Yep.
There's not a lot there.
Nope. The only thing difference you'd see is that student preview. Obviously, you won't see because you're the student.
Oh, the orange, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah, in case that's throwing anyone off.
Yeah, but mostly your interaction with Blackboard will be through modules,
Yes.
and then through discussion forums and no submissions. And
Right.
we'll occasionally post announcements, and there's essentially no discussions other than I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think the discussions are
They're
all
so we'll
about
get there.
the projects
So I want to
and
start with the syllabus. So you click syllabus, and it will take you to a new page, and this is a Tiddlywiki.
Yeah, some of you may have seen this already. I posted in the announcements, I think, on Tuesday. But this will be a nice way for us to sort of get familiar with this. This is your.
This is me, yeah.
This is you,
Those
yeah.
of you in IDT 575, Designing and Writing Interactive Texts, will see this because this is a case study of how to use Tiddlywiki to create an interactive text.
Yeah.
So it's all so meta.
Yeah.
So
Content on
basically, it opens up and there's a little sidebar here. You can click the button to get the sidebar if you want to, but you probably don't need to, so you can leave that closed.
Yeah.
And these are a set of tabs that are all clickable. And the thing with Tiddlywiki is there's lots of stuff to click. So click away, and you can't break it. You can't change it.
Even I can't break it.
Yeah, you cannot.
Yeah.
And you can edit it, you can change it, keep your own copy, but you can't screw it up. So faculty members, that's us. You don't have a webpage.
Don't. Got
Yeah,
some
you
social-
will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
You'll get me.
We'll put some social. We'll put some links there of who we are, and those list office hours. And probably most of you work during the day, so I've got these Zoom sessions set up at night.
Yeah.
And there'll be others, and we'll keep announcing them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I try to make myself as available as I can,
Yeah.
especially for the IDT students.
There's a set of course objectives and a set of learner outcomes, and I'll let you read. We'll let you read the objectives on your own, but we want to focus a little bit on the outcomes.
Yeah, what's going to happen? What are you going to do
Yeah.
by the end of the semester?
And they all start with the same 5 words.
Create information products. Yes.
That demonstrate.
Yeah. What would we like you to demonstrate? Yeah.
Yeah. So everything you're doing in the class is building.
Yes.
Okay. So you're building, and that's mostly what we're going to talk about today. Is you're going to decide in the very beginning today, by Monday, what you think you want to build.
Right.
And you don't have to follow through on that. You can change it every module.
Right.
But you just go back and say, oh, I decided, I saw this over there, and I want to learn how to do that.
Right, exactly.
But we want you to have an ongoing and continuous plan for your design goals.
Yeah, exactly. What we understand that everyone is a different type of designer, and so we want to try to cater to that and make sure at the end of the semester you feel like you got something out of this, both in terms of content as well as developing skills in design. Yeah.
So, a couple of textbooks for the course.
Yep.
And notice, of course, these have nice links. So there's a link to Google, which tells you where you can get the book, or whatever Google says about it. If it has a link to SUNY Poly eBrary or any SUNY Poly link, it will take you to. You might have to authenticate in SUNY
Right.
Poly to get this, but if you're already in Blackboard, you should be authenticated, and it should take you here, and you can get a full download of your book,
Right.
which is just like really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
It works.
It works. Yes.
I don't know. And I think you had said on the Bolter and Grunin book.
Well, yeah, Bolter and Grusin has.
Bolter and Grusin.
Grusin, yeah. If you click on this, you'll notice about 3 entries down, you'll see a nice little PDF there. We don't know if that's going to stay. That is nothing. We did not do that. We didn't put that up there. It's nothing to do.
But go
with
for
us.
it.
But yeah, it is there.
Yeah, and so you might also want to buy the book, but
Yep.
But it's there.
It's there, yeah.
So yeah, so we link to digital versions when our library has them,
Right.
and we link to Google Pages and let you find things on your own. I've never found Glycom.
No, it's interesting.
It's pretty tight.
And it's funny to think about the sort of the meta commentary about that might be when it comes to the discussion of receipts and things on paper and
Well, that's
trail
the like I'm pretty sure that there is. I don't even know if there's an ebook for it.
Well,
I guess there's an iBook. Yeah, you can buy the ebook. Yeah. But it's a great. I'm excited about having that book. And then we're going to touch on the course schedule. And so the course schedule kind of breaks out each module.
Yes.
There's information theory and design goals, then pre-telegraphy, electronics, computing, and 21st century information technology, and then your wrap where you assess your progress towards your design goals.
Right.
That will always take you to the full module, and then these are sort of subsets of the full module discussion. So this lists all the readings.
Mm-hmm.
This will list all the times that we're going to make a podcast, and we're
Right.
going to change Monday 16 January to Wednesday 18 January
Yes.
soon.
Yes.
This lists all the times that students submit things.
Right. Yep.
So if you need to say, oh God, what do I have to do? Come here. On the 18th of January, that's today.
Yes, that
You're
is
supposed
today.
to submit your module introduction.
Oh, yes, you're supposed to introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself to your
Say hello.
classmates, Yeah.
Next Tuesday, you submit your design goals.
Yep.
And looks like
When-
all the rest are Sundays.
Yeah, it falls into a rhythm once we get into this
Yeah.
first module is a little
So
bit
everything else
stunted.
you submit on Sundays, and that might be module proposals or module projects, module proposals, module projects.
Yep.
The other thing that you don't really submit, but that you do, is you do reviews.
Right.
And we've asked you to review the proposals.
Yes.
Not the projects.
Not
just
the projects.
proposals.
We'll review the
Yeah,
projects.
everybody's welcome
Yeah.
to see them, but you invest in a peer review of 2 other proposals to
Yeah.
help people along.
Yeah, we found that is really helpful to get a review touch point from your peers at the point at which you're still formulating your ideas.
And then we provide critiques,
Mm-hmm.
which is formerly known as grading.
Yes, sure.
But we'll provide critiques, and we set these dates out as our goals.
Yes.
And I hope they're there.
Man, I hope we did. Yeah.
Because you hand stuff in, students hand stuff in on Sundays, and we've promised by Tuesdays you get it back.
Yes.
And we'll do it. We'll
Yeah.
hope for it. It's
Yes.
like every 2 weeks, and then we should be giving you both sort of a private critique, which is your grade,
Mm-hmm.
or some score, and then I'm hoping that we develop a community critique that we'll share with everybody
Right.
that says overall this is what the
Yeah,
projects
and
look
maybe that takes the form of us discussing themes we saw in
Yeah.
in the podcast
Yeah.
or things like that.
So yeah, and we are going to critique both the proposals and the projects
Mhm.
for each module.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have policies, which you can read.
Yes.
If you hand stuff in late, that's fine.
Mhm.
We get it,
Life
and
happens.
we'll still grade it. I learned this from a grad school professor 1,000 years ago. I got a paper back, said B+. Kind of disappointing.
Oh.
I thought, this is a really good paper. I
Yeah.
spent time on this. It said B+, late paper, no comments.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah, right.
And so that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll take it, we'll grade it eventually, and you'll get a grade back. And you may or we don't feel obligated to write comments. It won't be a critique. It will just be an assessment.
Right. Because you're catching us in the mid flow. We may be another
Yeah.
module in doing other
And
things.
so I think that's fair enough. And so no penalties.
No.
Just the penalty is that we don't share our words with you. And anybody who has any needs for or desires for accommodation, there's the third policy there.
Absolutely.
Ask you to contact Sue Sprague. I should put her area code in there and the phone number.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
somebody wrote this. That's kind of like old technology.
Yeah.
You know?
315 probably.
315,
315,
yeah. So,
yeah.
but be in touch, and we'll certainly be completely supportive of it.
Absolutely.
So we want to go back and talk about the schedule and a little bit about this first module,
Yeah.
information theory and design goals.
Yeah, so obviously the readings that we're having you do this opening module have to do with theory, and mainly 2 theories, uses and gratifications and affordance theory. But then on top of that, we're asking that you take a moment here and think about what you want to accomplish throughout the semester in terms of your information design output. What digital output do you want to give to us? And we conceive of that as you want to get better at something, at designing something. That could be a blog, it could be a video series, it could be anything that you what kind of designer are you? And so we want you to either get really good in depth at one thing, or you could obviously get good at a bunch of different things throughout the semester. So think through, take the time to decide. So this doesn't necessarily have to do with the content. We're not saying that blogs are more appropriate for pre-telegraphy or that videos are more appropriate for electronics. They're sort of two separate considerations. We'll prompt you with what questions we want you to think about in the computing module, but what output do you want to give us that information in is up to you, and that's the plan we want you to put together.
So if you decide, I really want to focus on slide presentations, and I know PowerPoint, I've never used Google Slides, and I've heard of Prezi, and then there's these other timeline things, and I just want to make screen presentations that my readers, my audience, looks at on their screen.
Right.
Then you could do a series of 4 of them.
Right. And in that case, you probably would be wanting to sort of snowball down a hill and pick up new skills as the modules go on. Okay, well, I did this in the first module, I did A, B, and C, well, maybe I should try to pick up, a few extra things.
So like in slides, you might say, I want them to auto-advance.
Right.
And I'm going to time my presentation, and then the third one say, no, I'm going to add my audio.
Right.
So now you've built over time a full-scale screen presentation that runs automatically with audio.
Right, exactly.
In your 4th module.
Yes.
But if you want to do video or blog, and it has to be digital.
Yeah,
No
I think
sculpture.
so. Yeah. And no, don't handwrite us a note and send it to us.
If you handwrite a note on index cards and you take pictures, maybe.
Right, like it's like because we're actually, that's so much of what we're going to be talking about is like this information these transitions of information and remediation when the written word, literally written, becomes digital. What does that mean? And so I could conceive of some meta projects that would
let your imaginations run. And the other thing that we want to emphasize here is that we ask you by next week to say, this is what I'm going to do for the whole semester.
Right.
And then, so commit to that for the first module, for the pre-telegraphy. And then you're going to look at other people's stuff and say, wow, that's really cool, I want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you just change your plan and say, okay, change my plan, I want to make one of them.
Right, exactly.
I want to make what are the little cartoon things that people really like? The little screen animations.
Yeah, I can.
Powtoons.
Powtoons. Exactly
so it's like, I want to do Powtoons. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And so the idea is that you can just pick up any set of tools that challenge you in a way. So it's really up to you. And then we're going to be very happy with anything you do. It has to be accessible on the web. So you have to be able to send us a link. And it could be a zip file that we download and open up and execute. It has to be cross-platform. In other words, Windows and Mac.
It would be interesting to consider things like mobile versus desktop.
Yeah.
But that's not. That's a totally different.
Everything's up. Yeah. If you want to do something that's aimed at the mobile, if you want to build apps.
Yeah. Just be clear with us. You should be opening this with your phone. Yeah. You should be opening this with your desktop.
Or open it in your browser in phone mode.
Yeah.
And that would work. So So really, that's the key. And if you've got any questions, we'll for this module, we'll open up a discussion and say, oh, can I do this? And we'll say yes.
Yeah.
But you can write in, can I do this? And we'll say yes.
Right.
And and that's like the whole first module.
Yeah, exactly. Introduce yourselves. Tell us what your plan is. Have a more solid plan for the second module the first time you produce something. But then after that, be open.
But you have to read this.
Yes,
that's the other thing. You
have
to read the affordance stuff and the uses and graphs.
And it may spur on some thoughts on what you want to create as well. So this is our overarching theories. These 2 theories will be discussed throughout the semester, regardless of the era we're talking about, because we think it really does a nice job of laying a foundation and thinking about why certain things changed, or what was the reason behind moving from an oral to a print culture, and what does that do? Yeah.
And so you'll see here, these are the reading notes that we've created for each module, and they try to tell you a little bit about why you're reading that. So instead of saying read this, we're saying, well, think about this when you read that.
Right. A framing mechanism.
Yeah, and we do that for each module. And these are currently, these are Google Docs right now, if you want to know the underlying what's happening here, and only because I haven't sliced them into the wiki yet. So these may move into the wiki any day now, and then you'll see them. And the idea would be in the wiki, when I get there, and maybe it'll be next semester, when you click on whereas in textbooks, when you click on, say, Glyc, there'll be a list of all the different chapters
Yeah.
you're reading Glyc. So we're getting there.
Right, right.
But it
right.
all
Get
comes
some
along.
context,
And
yeah.
anybody who's in the IDT class and the 575 who wants to make that in this wiki,
Hey, there
I
you
think
go.
it's like that exercise 3. So there you go.
Great.
I think that's it.
I think that's
what do you
it.
think?
Absolutely.
We're done.
Yeah. See you
We'll
next
be back.
week. Yeah.
Take care. Thanks.